G'day guys, today I'll be heading out to Old Grantchester Road out in Laidley, Queensland. You can take this as a continuation of my previous video where I showed you some practical 4 driving tips. You'll notice my slow and steady controlled driving style throughout the video, regardless of the difficulty of the obstacles. Stick around as the obstacles get more technical towards the end of the video. In areas like this, it is imperative that you lower down your tire pressures because there are a lot of sharp rocks around. Throughout the video, you'll notice how I limit the wheel spin and how quickly I let off the gas once I feel that my vehicle gains traction. And this is mainly to reduce the impact on both my vehicle and the track. In this clip, I slowly climb up this hill. It is quite steep. You won't notice in this video, but I'll walk up the hill after this clip. You'll see it, and you'll see how rocky and steep the hill is. And you can see that even without low range in my vehicle, I just slowly and steadily climb up this hill, picking my right line and straddling the rocks as much as I can. Again, climbing up the steep hill, you'll notice how quickly I let off the throttle as soon as my vehicle gained traction. This is again to minimize wheel spin and stress on my vehicle. And pretty much the same on this following obstacle. Now this one is interesting. On the left, the track appears to be smooth and it appears to be the right line to pick, but that is an off-camber, slippery surface, so that's a bit dangerous. Actually, the safest one is not the one on the right. However, there's a rut just to the left of the tree, so it is very important to pick your right line, and this is a perfect example of it. You can see I'll approach the vehicle at a slight angle, and you can see one of the front and one of the rear tires goes up in the air and I lose traction. As I lose traction, I immediately hit the brakes and slowly and maintain control as I reverse straight down this hill. This is the sort of situation when you don't want to steer in any direction unless need be. You want to keep it as straight as possible. And then I reposition myself, and as you can see, just that slightest change of angle makes things so much easier, just picking the right line. This obstacle is a sharp drop, and you can see with a short wheelbase vehicle your brake over angle is good, which is one of your advantages. So you can see me just checking that brake over angle, make sure I can clear it. Now, as you can see, this is a really steep hill, looking at it from inside the vehicle, and this one is looking from the outside of the vehicle. So I have picked my line after looking at this hill, and there are a few points in the hill that is of a little bit of concern. So the first thing is on the right, we have a very sharp step, and on the left we've got a rut, and next to it is a little bit of a mound. So I decided that I'm going to put my right wheel, gain a bit of momentum and put my right wheel over this step on the right, and hope that it will still have enough momentum to get my left front wheel to touch the mound on the left, so then I can gain traction and push forward. Now my vehicle is an automatic vehicle, not a manual, and when I drive automatic vehicles, I'm just so used to using my left foot for braking, so I do left foot braking. Now, I'm not saying that everyone should do this, but that's just the way I drive automatics. But I must say that one of the advantages is when you go off-road with an automatic transmission, the control between your left foot on the brake and your right foot on the accelerator pedal is very important, most especially with a vehicle with no low range gearing like mine. And you'll see the controlled descent and how controlled my braking is going down this hill with a steep step in the middle of the hill. In this clip, again, the importance of picking the right line and using the advantage of gravity to just let it do its thing and take you slowly down the hill. And now I'm entering an area of the track wherein it requires quite a bit of technical four-wheel driving here. So there's some big rocks ahead, and you'll see the importance of a few things. Again, picking the right line, having that controlled left and right foot, so left foot braking and right foot accelerator, having the minimal wheel spin as possible to avoid damage to your vehicle and the track. So it's all about slow and steady control. You have to remember that my vehicle doesn't have low range, and again, this is the importance of getting used to left foot braking. You'll see my brake lights when it comes on, and you'll figure out when I'm hitting the brakes. And all I'm doing is literally alternating my right and my left foot up and down to get that controlled climb over rocks and obstacles. Very important if your vehicle doesn't have low range gearing. One thing you'll notice is I hardly push it. As soon as I figure that something's wrong or I don't have traction, I instantly back off and either pick a different line or give it a little bit of momentum to climb up. Do you notice how often my brake lights go on and off, and it goes on and off quite rapidly? This is how I let my vehicle go over this terrain with no low range gearing. So I'm just going to walk this obstacle that I've just been through to show you a closer look of the terrain I've just driven through. The second rock that I touch, I basically just flip it because I didn't want the sharp point of it pointing up, just in case I happen to drive over it. Want to avoid damaging my tire. And this is one thing you need to be wary of if you're looking at rocks that you're going to be driving on. You make sure you flip them if the pointed bits are pointing upwards. So you can see as I drive a bit of a zigzag over the whole length of obstacle, you can see my right front tire still straddling those rocks as much as I can. And I couldn't see it from the driver's seat, but I had the good visual memory in remembering where they are. And I just felt it as I was driving over them. I can feel that my right front tire was touching them, and I knew I was still at the right line. Now, this is the sort of situation wherein you increase the risk of snapping your CV joint. Your steering wheel is pointing to one direction, and you're over rough terrain and spinning your wheels. You don't want to do this because you want to minimize doing this because you increase the risk of snapping your CV joint. So as you can see, I reposition slow and steady, again with no low range. Left foot braking is the key. So as you can see, despite the limitation of my vehicle, everything was done in a controlled manner, slowly, with minimal stress on my vehicle and the tracks. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.